Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at the behind the scenes of my new Terror or Treat minigame that I made for Halloween. Now before we even begin, I just want to say I apologise that my voice sounds a little bit shaky. Unfortunately, I am just coming back from 1 week away of being ill, and although I feel 10 times better than I did over this past week, my voice still doesn't sound 100%, so unfortunately you're just going to have to ignore that, and we're going to continue on with the video. What I'm going to be doing today is explaining all of the redstone mechanics behind this thing, and showing you how it all works, so you can get a rough understanding of what's going on. So, first things first, when the player hits this button on the inside of the brain here, the redstone current will run out down here and all the way down like this, and also down this redstone line like this. Now, all of these command blocks here do a bunch of various different things. These two that you can see on either side, they will clear out anything that is inside the arena, be it mobs or any existing cookies from previous rounds. It will also give the player a sword and a full set of diamond armor to put on, and it will also spawn in a bunch of fresh cookies right in the middle of the arena so that the player can run around, pick them all up, get some scores on the board, and also get themselves some food to prepare themselves for any coming rounds. Now this redstone line that travels down like this actually runs into a T flip-flop which connects up to our hopper timer, which will begin to make the rounds start to turn so that the game officially begins. As mentioned in the little trailer that I posted on my channel, every 30 seconds the round will change, which means that every 30 seconds we get a little pulse running into this randomizer here, which will decide if the next round is going to be a trick or a treat. If it's going to be a treat, then the redstone will run up like this and into this set of command blocks, which will drop a bunch of cookies around the arena so that you can run around, picking them up and add in some score to the board. However, if you get yourself a trick, then you're going to have yourself a fairly bad time because the redstone will run in to this giant randomizer that you can see down at the bottom here. Hopefully some of you recognize this because I recently featured it in my randomizers video. If you haven't seen that, a link to that will be down in the description. But essentially what it does, it chooses an output out of 1 of 5. Now each output corresponds to a different set of mobs that are going to be spawning, and they are all different enemies that you can have. Now the way this randomizer works really is quite simple. Over here we have got a dropper filled up with items. When we get a redstone input into this, it will run into the water stream and travel along into our sorting system. Now the hopper it goes into will give a redstone output, and that will go into all of these command blocks here. Now each set of command blocks corresponds to a different type of mob. So for example, we have got zombies, creepers, skeletons, cave spiders in that one there, and then the one at the end is witches. And like I say, it is a 1 in 5 chance of each one of these lighting up. It really does depend. You could have 5 rounds of exactly the same mob, or you could have 5 rounds of different mobs each time. That's the beauty of it. You never know what to expect, and that is why I like using randomizers. Now that is pretty much most of the system explained. There is a tiny bit down here which when the player dies they will spawn over there and then be immediately teleported inside the room, so we don't have to worry about any spawn points or anything like that, because that's all a little bit confusing. That is pretty much all of the main mechanics explained. We do have a few other things that might need a little bit more information on. For example, the fact that the game is running a game rule, so that if the player dies, they actually keep their inventory, so that when they spawn back in, they can clearly see what score they got. And also we have this little thing down here, so that when the player dies, they will spawn over there, and then be immediately teleported inside the brain, because otherwise we'd have to deal with spawn points and things, and they're all fairly unpredictable. But other than that, I think I've covered pretty much everything here. If you have any extra questions, please let me know down in the comment section, but as far as I'm concerned, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.